Okay, good afternoon, everyone. It's nice to see a full house this morning or this afternoon. So the Brantford Accessibility Advisory Committee meeting is now called to order. The roll has been taken by the clerk. We do have a new member.
She is on there.
I'd like to welcome our newest member, Connie Martin, and we will do a round table of introductions, please. I will start. My name is Colleen Capil. I'm the chair of the committee, and welcome. Nice to have you aboard.
Brian Van Tilburg, I'm the Ward 5 councillor. Bar Prue, vice chair and entertainer in the city.
Lawyer, chair.
Ellie Lower, member, I think a couple of years now.
My name's Lindsay King, and I'm a development planner here with the city of Brantford.
My name is Lainey Hartman, and I'm hoping to accomplish some things going forward on accessible wheelchair parking through the city of Brantford, and let's say from coast to coast.
My name is Kathleen Carroll. I'm a coordinator with our Parks and Design Development team, and I just started 3 months ago. It's my first BAAC meeting.
Jay Lisa, I'm also a coordinator of Parks Design Development with the city, and I've been here since January.
I'm Brian Vanderloot. This is started my second year on this committee, and I still do income tax.
I'm Jenny Swicky. I'm the city's accessibility coordinator.
Kristen Demulemister, member of the clerk's department and the clerk and support for this meeting.
Councillor Hunt, would you introduce yourself, please?
I certainly will. So welcome, Connie. I am Councillor Linda Hunt. I represent Ward 4 in the city of Brantford.
Thank you. And Bev?
Hi, I'm Bev Davidson. I work for Canadian Hearing Services.
Thank you, Bev. And Christina?
Good afternoon. Welcome, Connie. My name is Christina Walgrave, and I work at W. Ross Macdonald School.
And Connie, if you could just say a couple of words, please.
Good afternoon. Thank you so much for the warm welcome. I'm Connie Martin. I am the Housing and Development Director for the Deaf, Blind, and Sensory Support Network of Canada, otherwise known as Sensity, and I'm very excited to be here.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Sorry, Brantford panelist. Sorry, I don't know your name. Could you just say a few words, please?
I'm assuming that's me. Sorry, I'm trying to figure out how to change my name. I am Sarah Consoli, a Human Resources Director at Lansdowne Children's Centre.
Perfect. Thank you, Sarah. Okay, I would like to ask that when you're speaking, please state your name each time you speak so that everyone is aware of who is speaking. We do have quite a few people at the meeting today. So number 2 on your agendas, declarations of conflicts of interest. Are there any declarations of conflicts of interest for any of the items listed on the agenda? Seeing none, moving on to number 3 on your agendas, presentations and delegations. We have no presentations or delegations today, so we'll move on to number 4, items for consideration. Today we have 4 items for consideration on today's agenda. The first one is 4.1, Brooklyn Baseball Diamonds update. Financial impact is none, and it is 2025-478. I will ask staff to please come forward and provide an overview of this item.
Okay, so I'm Kathleen Carroll. I am the project lead on Brooklyn Baseball Diamonds, so I'm presenting an overview of our design and construction. Oops, sorry. Okay, so Brooklyn Park is currently located in Ward 1 at 41 Delamere Street, which you can see on the map there. So right now the project site includes a playground and a soccer field. The city is going to be removing the soccer field, and we're also going to be relocating the playground across the street to Steve Brown's Sports Complex, which is also known as Lions Park. And in place of these amenities, there are going to be 2 new baseball diamonds that are installed. Part of the reason, which I will also discuss when I go over Brooklyn Park, the other project, is that right now the playground that's on site is not accessible. So part of the reason for us relocating it is to put it on a site where it can be accessible by users. So the city has noticed that baseball demand and participation is growing in the city, and therefore we thought that 2 new baseball diamonds would align with the city's master plan. And they're going to meet the official rules of baseball for the Canadian content, and they're going to be used by the junior under 13 divisions in the city. And they're going to be accessible by an asphalt pathway that will connect to future street parking along Edge Street, and also a future pathway that will run along Edge Street. That's a separate project, I should mention, so that's going to be a linear project. Also, currently our design is in its final stages, but with the delay of the construction project for Edge Street, with that in mind, because we currently don't have a pathway along Edge Street to connect our central pathway, we're also going to be including, these are conceptual designs, but we're going to be including pathways. We're going to be including, accessible asphalt pathways to the corner of Edge Street in Delamere, as well as to an existing multi-use pathway along Gilkison. So that's not currently on the layout, but it will be included in the final design. So to ensure that users have safe access to all league games and tournaments that may be played at these baseball diamonds, some of the improvements that we're going to make are new 2.4 meter wide asphalt paths, and they're going to connect the baseball diamonds to those 3 locations along Edge Street. There's also going to be new 8 meter wide concrete pads with clear floor space for spectators. And we're going to be planting new trees to provide a lot of adequate shade for the park users. So we do have a consultant that was hired for this project. And as I said before, the design is in its final stage. So presently the draft IFT submission is currently being reviewed by the city. And then the city will put the project out for tender before the end of 2025. We have construction scheduled to begin in the summer of 2026. I should also mention the reason we're looking at early summer is because this project is going to run in parallel with Brooklyn Park. And Brooklyn Park, which is the playground being moved across the street, that site is used for the City of Brantford's Canada Day event. So we were told we cannot start construction until after that event. So because they run in parallel, it has it starting a little bit later in the season. And then construction is expected to be completed before the end of 2026. We do have a few constraints for this project. Right now, there's no on-site parking for users. There's only the informal street parking, which runs along Edge Street. There's also some street parking along Delamere. Yeah, Delamere, but it's just, once again, informal, you park along the curb. And then there's no sidewalks along Edge Street or Delamere Street. So right now users are accessing the park directly from the streetways. And there's also no pathways on the site. It's all sodded. So that is the only way to access the playground and soccer field. Our design is going to address the pathways on site. However, the parking and the sidewalk along Edge Street is going to be addressed in the construction project, the design project, for Edge Street, not our park one. And yes, so that's an overview of the design. And if you have any questions at this time, I can try to my best of my abilities to answer them. And
Okay, if I could have a mover and a second to place the motion on the floor for further discussion, please. Yes, thank you, Madison and Mark. Stop sharing. Oh. And we will open it up for discussion. Questions? Yes, Brian.
Brian Vanderloot.
yes.
Will the diamonds be continue to be used next year? The current ones, while we're waiting for the new ones to be built?
There are no current baseball diamonds on site right now. There is a soccer field.
Oh,
Yeah, and I'm not sure, that would be, I can definitely look into it, but that would be probably a question for our operations team. Yeah, but that
it's
is,
gonna be 27 before these diamonds are ready.
yes, correct.
Madison.
Was there anything that I missed that was stated about accessibility for transitioning from roadside up towards bleachers?
Yes, so sorry, there are asphalt pathways that are going to, the asphalt pathways connect to concrete pads, and the concrete pads are where the bleachers and spectating area will be. So, yes. Sorry, does that answer your question?
Is there also added textiles?
Tactile.
Tactiles?
Oh, for the asphalt pathways, or there will be at, there will be where the asphalt pathway meets down there, because we're going to have a drop curb and a crosswalk there. But I don't believe that we have tactiles around the concrete pads for the bleachers. That's definitely something we can consider.
Oh, I just meant, from the road up to the
pathways. Okay. Yes.
It's Mark here. Are they talking about putting garbages at different places in their park area and benches?
Yeah, so there are no benches along the pathways. There is an armor stone seating, kind of like informal seating wall. And then there will be the bleachers with that clear space beside them for wheelchairs. But yeah, so sorry, no benches right now are in the plan. And also garbage bins, I believe. I don't know if we include garbage cans in our designs or if that is operations that perhaps goes in and puts those in after, but I can definitely find out. I can talk to that team.
Thank you. Jenny, you wanted to speak to this?
Yes, sorry. I know that we haven't had an opportunity to meet staff on staff. I'm hoping we can.
Okay.
But a couple of notes just while we're here. Those pathways should have curb cuts at the end to allow people up to the sidewalk, not sidewalk, but the property.
Yes.
Tactile warning surfaces, as Madison
Yes.
mentioned. As well as some sort of blockage, whether it be line painting so people cannot park at those entrances, so people can always get up. Inclusive seating, bleachers, I heard you mention, beside, but if we can look at a design where a section of it's cut out so it can be more inclusive and incorporated instead of just on the ends.
Right.
That would be great. Things that we can talk about. We'll have to work with OS to get some on-street parking that's accessible and perhaps drop some curbs down for that. That's basically all I have, but I'm happy to meet with you.
Yeah.
We will meet, we will discuss, we will make it great. So
Sounds good.
I just wanted to put those items out there.
That might even be a meeting between us and also the team that's designing Edge Street.
Okay.
Because they're going to be the ones designing the street parking and
Just if we can get ahead of it, it makes
Yes.
life easier for everybody. So
Yes, thank you.
you're welcome. I'm welcome.
Thank you.
Any further discussion or questions? Yes, Mark?
Are the designers going to be coming to see us about the construction change on Edge Street and the other street there?
I'm not sorry.
Yeah.
May I? I'm not sure what that scope is yet, Mark. I have not seen anything. They will if it affects accessible parking. That is the only mandate under the AODA.
Okay. I think they should make it just one-way streets, that way there's plenty of parking along the side of the street. But that's not for this discussion. Sounds good.
Yes, thank you.
Anything further for Lindsay? Then I will call the question. All those in favor as presented? Are there any opposed? Seeing none, that is carried. Thank you, Lindsay. That was a well thought out presentation. Oh, I'm sorry. Yeah. Wrong.
Like Caslin.
Oh, just two places. I'm sorry. Oh, I'm so sorry.
I knew what you meant.
Good presentation. Thanks so much. Okay, moving on to 4.2. Playground rehabilitation for Brooklyn Park update. Financial impact again is none. It's 2025-477. And once again, I'll ask staff to come forward and provide an overview on this item.
I don't know. Sorry, one moment. Sorry, I just want to make sure that it's in the right view. Putting the
Option under advanced sharing to actually draw the draw it.
oh, under here.
Yeah, and then we can draw a square where the actual views, you can still see the notes and everything.
Oh, okay. It worked for the last one, that's why.
Yeah.
I don't know why. The last. Nope, sorry, that's the wrong.
That's Windows, if you keep scrolling down. Third advanced.
I'm so sorry.
It's okay. We have problems every time.
Okay. It worked for the last one, no problem. So, but for some reason, it's not showing it in the layout that I would like. Oh, sorry.
It's life.
Yeah.
Today's life.
Yeah. So before I could show it in the presentation view, but right now it's only allowing the PowerPoint.
So if you
view.
click on that, you can't make a slideshow.
I think it should slide by slide.
I've checked yet.
Content.
Glad you're
yeah.
What happens if you share it? It presents it like that, and then I guess I could minimize and then.
Oh, God, see, now look what you've done. I'm in disguise.
Really.
Well, first of all, in order to be taken care of, you have to have a professional photographer come straight.
Oh, of course.
Okay.
There we go.
Yeah, it worked for probably for the first one, so I didn't think it would. Okay, I'm sorry about that. So
You're good.
once again, I'm Caslin, and I'm the project lead on Brooklyn Park Playground. And this is an overview, but it's also an update. This project was actually previously presented to the committee in fall 2024, but it was presented in its early stages as part of a project for the playground equipment replacement capital program. So there were multiple parks, within that project. It has since been separated from that project, and it was allocated its own budget. So now I'm presenting it in its final stages of design. So Brooklyn Park is linked to Brooklyn Baseball Diamonds in the sense that it is located at 41 Delamere Street. It's that same site that includes the soccer field and the playground. With this playground not being accessible, the playground currently has sand around it as well as a wood barrier curb. And the swing set also has sand around it. There are no accessible pathways leading up to these amenities. So the city is moving. We are going to relocate. We're going to update and relocate the playground to 20 Edge Street, which is in Lions Park and Steve Brown Sports Complex. So it's not far, it's just across the street. But this location will definitely present a more accessible design. So to address current standards for safety and accessibility of play structures, we're going to do that through the replacement and relocation of the playground. And there's also going to be the addition of barrier-free pathways. The playground has not been designed yet, but it will meet current CSA standard for playgrounds, and it will be accessible from a parking lot off of Gilkison Street, as well as existing asphalt pathways. To ensure users will have safe access to the park and the play equipment, these are some of the features that we have included. So there will be new 2-meter wide asphalt paths that will connect the amenities to the existing asphalt pathways. There will also be a continuous paved loop around the play area to increase the number of access points and viewing points. There will be new asphalt ramps into the play areas with wood fiber safety surfacing for access to the play equipment. The new play equipment will include features that are accessible from the ground level. We will have protected existing trees, newly planted trees, and a new shade shelter for adequate shade in the park. And there will be new benches with clear floor space beside them. We also have a consultant that was hired for this project, and the design is in its final stage. Presently, the 90% submission was reviewed by the city and returned to the consultant. And the consultant is currently working on the draft IFT submission. The city is expecting to have this project out for tender in parallel with the Brooklyn Baseball Diamonds. So that would be before the end of 2025. And it runs the same type of construction schedule as the Baseball Diamonds. So the construction is expected to begin in the summer of 2026, following Canada Day. And it is expected to be completed before the end of 2026. Currently, we don't have any constraints. And yes, I open it up to questions.
Great, thank you very much, Caslin.
Yes, I got it.
May I have a mover and a second to place motion on the floor for further discussion, please? Yes, Kelly. And Madison, thank you. Questions and comments for Caslin? Yes, Mark.
Is that reducing room in the, what we now know as Lions Park? Is that gonna make the Lions Park smaller?
So Lions Park includes, it doesn't just include that footprint where the playground is gonna go. The Lions Park includes, actually, sorry, I think I do have a image here. So, yeah, so do you mind if I stand? Okay, so this is the site area for the playgrounds, whereas Lions Park kind of encompasses this whole recreational facility.
Can you just give some description of what that area is?
Yes.
For those who can't.
Yes, yes, right, except not everyone can see. So the area right now has, it's just an open sodded area with a lot of mature existing trees. And it, yes, sorry. Oh, yes, sorry. And this area runs along Gilkison Street. It's a small area and the grading is pretty flat right now. It's there's not much elevation change because it is used on Canada Day for, I guess the city of Brantford has a big event there, and they have food trucks and kind of a celebration. So the grassed area is just used right now for spectators. Aside from that event, I don't believe the space is currently used for anything else. That's my understanding, is that it's just a green space in front of the baseball diamonds and the soccer fields, and it's beside a parking lot with asphalt pathways already surrounding it, because those asphalt pathways allow access to the sports fields. So it's kind of, it really is in a good spot where there's already those connections in place. We just need to include pathways through the site.
Okay,
To connect it.
fantastic.
Yeah.
And what color is the new playground?
We actually haven't selected the playground equipment yet. That is the next step in the design phase. So the playground will go out for to a supplier and installer, and at that point they will present a couple of designs, and those designs will be put out to the public for voting. So yeah, so that hasn't been decided yet, but thank you for bringing that up, because it will be part of it. Yes.
So the people that love to sit under those trees on Canada Day can't come out and vote that there's a little more trees added into the design?
So there's only 2 new trees going in along the pathway. It won't, so we actually, this design was already reviewed by our operations team. So they look at it and they took into consideration the event on Canada Day. So they ensured that this design will work with their, they have a plan and layout for their vendors for that event. So they ensured that the playground will not be in the way. It will not be, sorry, I don't have a better way to describe it, but they ensured there will still be enough space for users during the Canada Day event. It will not conflict with the layout. And then the trees are existing and yeah, the trees, we don't really, we can do construction without having to remove trees, which is usually a good thing. Yeah.
Yeah,
Yeah.
it's looking to be that way.
Yes, we have tree
Okay.
protection plan in place. Yeah.
It's people just love to take a break over there.
Okay.
Yeah.
And just hang out under the trees. Okay, that's good to know. I don't see the playground getting in the way with that because the playground is in a spot that's already open. There are no trees. No trees are being removed. So it may just reduce a little bit of an open space. If people like to use the open space, it might reduce it a little bit. But yes, thank you for bringing that up.
And if I could remind everyone, please just state your name when you're speaking, please. Okay, any further questions? Yes, Mark.
Okay, it's Mark here. Could you make sure when they order the new play equipment, my request is that they please include the Braille alphabet again? I
Okay.
think that's so important for the kids. They do look at that. And the sign language board.
Okay.
I think that is such a unique thing. And if you want an example of that, one park that sticks out in my mind is Dufferin Park, but they've done it at a lot of the parks in town, and I've caught children studying the wall, like just hello, goodbye, and their letters of the alphabet in all Braille and sign language.
Okay.
It helps with the inclusivity of our city.
Thank you.
Yeah, that's
Christina, you have a question?
Yes, hi there. It's Christina. I'm just confirming, just because I'm not where you are at when you're pointing at the map. I just want to confirm it's that open area that's between the diamonds and the parking lot. Is that correct?
yes, that's correct.
Okay.
Yes. Yes.
Now, one thing to consider, I'm not sure, I know when we met with the folks from the city in regards to Dufferin Park, a suggestion that we made at entrances where they meet the other pathways kind of along Gilkinson, if you guys would consider some armor stone on either side of the pathway so that, you know, when there's snow, those armor stones will be detected. Otherwise, the pathways will be covered and it would be difficult to be able to access the park if that would be considered.
Okay, I understand what you're saying. Yeah, it'd be hard to detect where they meet the pathways if there's nothing. Yeah.
And the surface it's wood chips, is that what's going there? Surrounding the playground?
So the budget for this park allows for wood surfacing, the wood fiber surfacing. Unfortunately, it would not cover rubber safety surfacing.
Okay, thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you. Any further questions or discussion on this point for Kathleen? Seeing none. Sorry. Yes. Councillor Hunt, please.
Hi, sorry, I'm looking at both the plans for the baseball diamonds and the plans for the playground, trying to figure out where they are in relation to each other. So I understand that the playground is going to go directly behind the red diamond.
Yes.
In that little triangle space. So where on this, Google map do the playgrounds end up? Sorry, the baseball diamonds.
Yeah, so the baseball diamonds are going to be north of the playground, so north of that area by the red diamond. On the other side, so if you look north of Edge Street, where the existing Brooklyn Park is.
Oh, okay, so my thought was you're moving everything from Brooklyn Park to across the street, but Brooklyn Park itself, you're just moving the playground, and then the two baseball diamonds will be where it says Brooklyn Park. Okay,
They'll be replacing a soccer field.
yeah,
The idea
okay.
is that, yeah, that.
All right, that makes sense. I thought we were getting a little bit crowded here
Oh, sorry.
at Lions Park. Okay, thanks for that.
Thank you.
Any further discussion or questions? Seeing none, I will now call the vote. All those in favor, please raise your hands. Any opposed? Seeing none, that's carried. Moving on to 4.3, our next item is Dabney Creek Bank Protection Boat Launch Parking Lot and Entrance Improvement Update. Financial impact again is none, and it's 2025-479. I will ask staff once again to come forward and provide an overview of this item.
Hello, my name is Jay Lisa. I'll be presenting the Dobney boat launch. Share here. It works. Okay, so we're showing the plan for the Dobney boat launch. So the city, a number of years ago, conducted a study of the area, which is north of Ballantyne Drive, on the south side of the river. There's a sort of informal boat launch in that area that was subject to seasonal erosion due to the actions of the river. So the city conducted a study looking at stabilizing the shoreline and the bank of that boat launch area, and also including a more permanent boat launch structure at the site. So that was the first part of the study. We had a consultant complete that study, and that has been completed, looking at the boat launch and the bank stabilization. As part of that work, the city decided it would be an opportune time to also rehabilitate the existing granular parking lot and the deteriorating driveway entrance to the site off of Ballantyne Drive. So we retained the same consultant, an engineering firm, to look at the design of the parking lot and the entranceway to the site, which is what we're seeing on here. So the plan is to widen the entrance driveway to a full 6 meters, so a full double lane, to make it safer for vehicles to get into and out of the site. Currently, it's about 3 to 4 meters, and it's kind of crumbling at the sides, so it's not very safe for a vehicle to come in and out at the same time. And also to pave the parking lot and include line painting, accessible spaces, and a turnaround to make the site a little bit safer and easier for vehicles to move into and out of the site. We would create the parking lot, would connect to the formal boat launch, and would also connect to the existing Dobney Creek Trail Bridge, which is sort of at the south of the boat launch area. See if I can get to go into some of the constraints here. No, that didn't work. No, I'm having technical difficulties here.
You have to go back to your PowerPoint.
guys again. All right. Like sharing? No. Okay. So we've done our best given it's a pretty interesting site to work with. So we've done our best to make it as accessible as possible on the site itself. So there will be accessible parking spaces provided. Unfortunately, we can't get the driveway entrance to an accessible slope where it would be accessible via, a 5% slope or less. The slope is about 14%, but we're really constrained by coming off the dike at the top of Valentine Drive and trying to match up with the existing pedestrian bridge that connects to the Dobney Creek Trail. So within that limited length of roadway, that's kind of what we're working with. There's also culverts to either side of the road, which limit how much we can kind of weave the road to get it more accessible. And so if we were to try and get it to a slope of 5% or even 8%, we'd be looking at restructuring culverts for 2 creeks, significant tree removals, significant grading to try and get that to an accessible grade. So we, ideally we would like to have it reduced, but the focus at this point was to make it safe for vehicles to enter the site. And then once the vehicles are on the site, the parking lot and the boat launch is accessible. So that's what we focused on for this. So there will be, it's not shown in that plan that I had up there, but there would be accessible picnic tables provided by operations. They like to provide their own furnishings and garbage cans for the site because it is subject to flooding. They want to make that seasonal. So during times of peak flow in the river, they want to be able to remove picnic tables or seating or garbage cans, whatever might get washed away during a flood. But we would accommodate, accessible picnic tables or accessible seating where possible. I can show a couple of the photos here, just to give you an idea of what we're working with. So I'll describe the photos here. This is the entranceway coming in, and you can see to either side of the roadway, there's approximately a 1-to-1 slope, which is a 45-degree angle slope coming off the edge of the roadway. And on either side, on the west side, there is it goes down to Dobney Creek. And on the east side, there's a large concrete culvert where flows come out, and then that culvert channel flows into the river. So on either side of the road, we're really restricted. There's also existing mature trees on either side, which would require removal if we were to try and stretch the roadway out to make it accessible. So in this photo, we're looking into the site from the top of the road, looking down towards the site. You can see in front of us is the bridge, the existing pedestrian bridge over Dobney Creek that connects to the Dobney Creek Trail. Off to the right side is the existing parking lot, which is a granular base right now. You can see also there's a yellow P gate sort of to the left in the middle of the roadway, and that is currently a operations access point for the area, that area east of the site. So operations does access that, and they've requested that they keep this gated access so they can maintain the site to the east, which is another constraint with the roadway having to connect to that existing operational access. There's also there's a little yellow stake sticking up just off to the left of the picture by a large tree. That's an existing gas line that runs right beside the roadway and it curves around past the pedestrian bridge, and then it goes along the edge of the parking lot and eventually goes, I believe that goes under the river. So which is another constraint for dealing with this site. So yeah, as I said, we've done what we can to make the actual site itself accessible. The difficulties are creating an accessible entrance to the site other than via vehicles. So if okay. So I open it up if anyone has any questions.
Thank you, Jay. May I please have a mover and a seconder to place the motion on the floor? Mover, seconder. Yes, Madison, thank you. Kelly, thank you very much. Okay, questions, comments for Jay, please.
Show me on this picture where the boat launch is.
The boat launch will be in the very far, sort of the top left.
Where the cars are?
To the left of those.
To
So
the
there will
left.
be a, yeah. I can bring up another picture here where the boat launch will be. So in this picture showing here, the boat launch would be the smallest car in that picture. Sort of looks like it's sitting in the river. That's where the boat launch will be located.
Councillor Hunt, I see your hand up.
Yeah, so I'm looking at the two appendixes, Jay, but I don't see the one that you had on the screen that shows the two accessible parking spots. And from what I can see, it looks like both of the access aisles are located on the driver's side, not the passenger side. I'm just wondering if you can bring that screen up.
Yeah. So that the plan has been brought back up. Yes, you are correct. They're currently both on the driver's side, which we can adjust. The designer, it's currently at the IFT stage, but has not been sent out for construction.
So there's no there's no reason that you can't switch. So the access aisle is on the passenger side of both of these.
No, that's
spots. It's just, that's paint, right?
Yeah, correct.
Okay, and So I'm pleased to see this because it also provides for another wheelchair accessible entrance to the trail system, which outside of this project, as we've indicated, so you could very easily have people parking here in order to access the trail system, not
Correct.
just the boat ramp. And which is, kind of an added bonus to the trail system with this project. So yeah, other than the relocation of the access aisles so that they're on the passenger side of the two accessible stalls, then yeah, it looks good to me.
Thank you, Councillor Hunt. Jenny, you wanted to speak to this?
Yes, Councillor Hunt already spoke to the one issue, which is the access aisle. It does look like the type A stall is the utmost parking stall. So we actually only need one access aisle. You can keep the two. So the one is in the right position, the top one would just have to move down if you're going to keep that. So typically what I recommend is passengers, access aisle be on the passenger side of the type A stall, and that alleviates most of the issues. The other question I have is regarding that line of dots, which I assume are bullards to get to the boat launch.
Yeah, they were proposed to be armstone,
Okay,
and it's, the spacing is open. It's just to prevent vehicles
okay.
from.
So as long as there's 1.5 meters
Yes.
to get through at least one of them,
Yeah.
then
exactly.
we're good. And then of course the boat launch itself, whatever we can do to make that as accessible as possible, that'd be great, and we can work together on that.
Yeah.
Oh, thank you, Jay. Any further discussion or questions? Yes, I see two hands up. Connie?
Forgive me if you might have said this already. Is the site going to be raised in order to help combat the grade differential? Because you're talking about the slope, so I was just wondering if there was going to be any engineered fill or anything being brought in to help raise the site to combat the slope.
There likely will be fill brought in, but not to raise the site. The site, we're kind of constrained by the, where the existing pedestrian bridge is. And also by, kind of how the site, like what level it hits the river to make the boat launch, work. So we won't be raised, the plan is not to raise the site. It's just to basically pave the existing, grade it's at.
And volume is, how's that gonna work with the amount of parking and projected people that are gonna use that? Is it gonna be super busy? Or how is that gonna be controlled?
So we're fitting what we can. So I believe there's 17 spaces plus 2 accessible. Which I've been to the site numerous times and I've never seen more than 10 cars on the site. I know it does get busy. But ideally this is sort of a peak amount of parking. There's also a few sort of parallel spots. They're meant for people with boats on trailers, but if it's an overflow time,
Yeah.
people could parallel in those areas.
Thing is, when it becomes so comfortable, so good, sometimes we get more. So that's the only thing I'm thinking of, like the future, people probably gonna get noticed and say, we can go there, we can do this, are we gonna be prepared for that? Like, you're better to go a little big than not big enough.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's like cost wise too, that if you wait 5 years, and you try to modify it again, cost you way more. I'm from the Netherlands and we have lots of water there and we have lots of dikes. So, it's all, everything is goes, so we need to maybe think a little different, because now it's the opportunity. If we go a little too big, then we never have to be ashamed of what we did.
Thank you. Sorry, didn't mean to cut you off.
That's fine.
Councillor Hunt, you have another question?
Yeah, through you to staff, Jenny, correct me if I'm wrong. I mean, I know we only need one. I'm just wondering if the location of it would not be maybe better, closer to the middle, of the parking spaces. The reason being, if someone is parking there to access the trail, that gets them out of the, that roundabout traffic where people are likely pulling a boat trailer if they've used the boat launch. But it also, if they are there to access the boat launch, it's kind of in the middle. So because if I was to go there, I'm not going to be using the boat launch, but I would like to access the trail, for example. So would it be possible to relocate the accessible parking so they're more in the middle versus right adjacent to the boat launch?
So in response to that, my only caution would be the placement not be near the exit of that roundabout in case there are rear loading accessible vehicles. We
Yeah.
don't want to conflict with that. So we'd have to be very cautious about where that might be. I am comfortable. What would be the proximity to the entrance of the trail from those accessible locations?
It's at the other end of the parking lot from what I can see, right?
Yeah, so if I can just point.
So if I was, so for example, if you had a rear loading van that was, someone was getting out of they're backing out into that roundabout traffic that's right at the boat launch. But even someone using a side load, they're gonna have to travel the entire length of the parking lot to access the trail, because it's,
So because we already have two access aisles, perhaps a solution might be to split up those two accessible stalls so there's one at either end.
yeah, that would be actually a great idea. Actually, I think that just looking at the diagram here, it looks like the first parking spot at the end is actually wider anyway. Just based on this diagram.
So if the slopes work, that's probably what would be the best.
Yeah, so yeah, I agree. So maybe Jay, if you could just take those notes away to relocate one of the accessible spots to the other end of the parking lot. That way, if someone is there just to access the trail, they're not in that whole, traffic that's using the boat launch.
Yeah, I think that's an easy fix, and that makes sense.
Yeah, okay, thank you.
Okay, any further discussions or questions for Jay on this? Seeing none, I will now call for the vote. All those in favor as presented, with a few minor adjustments, yes? Any opposed? And that is carried. Thank you, Jay. Moving on to our next item, 4.4, site plan control application for 8599 Holborn Street West. Financial impact again is none, and it's number 2025-443. Once again, I'll ask staff to come forward and provide an overview on this item.
Okay, that's working as a team.
Want to sit beside her? It's okay. No?
Hit start from the beginning. Start from the beginning while doing.
Okay. All right, well, I think, my name's Lindsay. I'm probably just gonna, can everyone see this okay? Yeah. Is this big enough?
So Keith, speak up.
Sure, no problem. So my name's Lindsay again, and I'm a development planner here at the city of Brantford. So I'm going to be presenting just briefly on this location. It's 85 to 99 Colborne Street West. So it's a site plan application. So here are the subject lands. As you can see, they're currently vacant. And this is a street view from Colborne Street West. So the purpose of this application is to facilitate the development of 2 commercial buildings that would consist of a total of 8 units, so 4 in each unit. Previous zoning bylaw amendments, previous zoning bylaw amendment allowed for site-specific provisions, which reduced the minimum parking requirements and allowed for various reductions to the side yards, front yards, rear yards. So basically permitting more development than would otherwise be allowed there. Here is a elevation drawing of one of the buildings. So this particular one has a drive-through restaurant, and then they have planned for 2 other commercial units. And this is the concept plan. So the 2 buildings that are shaded in gray are the multi-unit buildings. You can see I've highlighted the accessible parking spaces and also in yellow. And then the light blue shows the internal walkways. Just because there's kind of a lot going on here, so I just wanted to be clear. And then the darker blue are the external sidewalks. So you can see that they're kind of oriented in different ways. So building A is closer to Colborne Street and is oriented lengthwise, and then building B is obviously the one with the drive-through, and it's oriented in the other way. You can see there's triangles with 2-tone triangles that denote the entrances, and then the solid triangles, the little solid gray triangles denote windows. So what else do I have to say here? I did circulate this application for comments, technical comments, of course, and Jenny provided some great comments as usual. One being that this application be seen here today. She also identified that the number and types of stalls are compliant, that they must be designed as per the design of public spaces standards, that signage for those accessible parking spaces is required, and also that there's a new Ontario Building Code requirement that stipulates that the minimum sidewalks is actually now 1.6. They're gonna have to bump that out a little bit. The last comment too was that the crosswalk that's meant to be painted at the beginning, at the entrance rather of the drive-through, doesn't have a reciprocal area near the okay, so maybe we'll hear more about that shortly. That though is all that we have for accessibility comments. So I'll open the floor up now for any questions and comments.
Sorry, may I go first just because I have an amendment to that?
Yeah, just 1 second, Jenny. Sorry, could I have a mover and a second to put the motion on the floor to open it up for discussion and question, please? Yes, Mark. Thank you. And Brian, thank you so much. Jenny, please.
So sorry, Lindsay. The developer had contacted me with concern about that because the crosswalk just leads to the Mullocks. So to avoid confusion, we're going to eliminate that painted crosswalk and leave the tactile warning surface there. And signage will go up to say, caution people. so that we get rid of that hazard. Sorry.
Further questions? Comments, discussion? Yes, Mark.
Is there any talk, if there's already it's Mark here, is there any talk about having a specific restaurant in there if they're already predicting a drive-through?
I believe they are already planning for Mary Brown's through the chair. So.
Oh. You don't know. Just curious. We're
Sorry.
gonna, it's important or something in Brantford.
Any further questions for Lindsay? No further discussion? All right, then, I will call the question. All those in favor? And any opposed to this?
I'm opposed to Mary Brown's.
Oh, my goodness.
Lindsay's got a question.
Thank you. Yes, Lindsay, please go ahead.
So I wonder, is the recommendation changed then from the, what was proposed? Because we typically set it out as, staff will incorporate X, Y, and Z comments into back, so if there is none.
Yep, so if there was none brought forward by the committee, then we will just change that to be received.
Okay.
Yeah.
Other than,
Yeah.
That's right.
okay. Oh, so that was carried. Thank you so much. Number 6 on your agendas, ladies and gentlemen, there are no resolutions. Number 7, we have no notices of motion. And number 8 on your agendas. Oh, sorry, I skipped right over number 5. Number 5, we do have one consent item, which is 5.1 minutes of the Brantford Accessibility Advisory Committee from May 22nd, 2025. May I have a mover and a seconder to approve the minutes? Yes, Mark and Madison, thank you so much. Any discussion on the minutes from May? Does everyone remember the minutes from May? Seeing no questions, all those in favor of accepting the minutes as presented, please indicate by raising your hand. And is there any opposed? Additions, deletions, I see none. That's carried. Now on to number 6, no resolutions, no notice of motion. Number 8, we are adjourned. Thank you, ladies and gentlemen.
I have to review.
Good meeting. Oh,
Thank you.
Harley.
Okay.
I'll pop down.